beats.
Hello YouTube, it's Akrit again, back with another video from the studio. Not the home studio, but the studio. Or maybe I should say the future studio, because this is a project that I'm gonna have to work on quite a bit before I'm able to move in here with all my stuff to make all the beats and videos from here. But I've decided to move out of my home studio to move into this place. You know, there's pros and cons with everything, and getting a separate studio space to be able to make beats and YouTube videos is maybe not what I would recommend for everyone always, but for me right now, it feels like this makes a lot of sense. I've been home a lot lately. I had a brain tumor and a brain surgery and a stroke on top of that, which basically meant that I had to do a lot of rehab and recovery and stuff, mostly from home. And when I became strong enough to go back to my day job, the pandemic kind of happened and a lot of us had to work from home, me included. I run this YouTube channel and I make all my beats and everything from home too, so right now it just feels like a good time for me to move out of that place to move into something different. And this isn't done, this isn't finished, this isn't the magical epic studio that I've always dreamt of right now. But it could be improved, and this is going to be a lot better than the room I have at home, hopefully. Now, when it comes to the size of this room, sure, it's bigger than my home studio, and it might even look even bigger on camera. But I'm pretty sure that the square feet here makes this room twice the size of my home studio, which is cool, but a part of me is already thinking like, hey, there's actually a risk that this room is not going to be big enough for me in the long run. But who knows? And I was able to make the most out of my home studio in a tiny space. This is going to be better, right? You know, I have my reasons to do this, to get this place, a separate studio space for me to be creative and do what I do. One of them is, of course, that I'm getting sick and tired of working from home, being stuck at the same place all the time. It's basically becoming repetitive and it's not as inspirational anymore. I just need a change of scenery, you know? It's becoming increasingly difficult to focus at home. Focus on the creative work becomes difficult when you have the family at home, and focusing on family life becomes difficult because you have all the creative stuff at home. And I love the fact that my daughter sees and hears me work with stuff like music and videos and stuff. That's cool and inspirational, and I want that to be a part of her life. But this entire creative part of my life has become a part-time job so far. Mondays and Tuesdays are spent making beats, making videos, editing, all that stuff. And Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are spent at my day job. And then, of course, I do a little bit of creative work in the weekends too. What I'm trying to accomplish here is basically just a better separation between these two parts of my life. Creative work and YouTube and beats and all that stuff over here, and family time and the day job and that stuff over here. And of course, it's just fun and cool to actually get a separate studio space. I kind of feel like I deserve that at this point. But of course, it's nice and convenient to have a beat making setup at home whenever inspiration strikes, and maybe I'm gonna keep an MPC at home just because. Or maybe not even that. I don't know. I'm gonna try my absolute best to fill this room with stuff that makes me feel good, that makes me inspired and makes me want to do stuff in here. Because the worst enemy for my inspiration is whenever I feel like I have to do something instead of wanting to do something, if that makes sense. Now, this actual space is located in a facility with a bunch of different rehearsal rooms everywhere for bands to rehearse and rent the space for their own. So I'm pretty sure I have a rock band or a metal band or something like that over there. There's someone across the hall from me, and there's also a few producers and other bands and stuff with their own little separate spaces. And this entire place is built to be rehearsal rooms. So if they happen to have a full-blown acoustic drum kit in there, I'm sure the kick drum is going to leak in here sometimes. But since I do the majority of my work in here on Mondays and Tuesdays, and especially in the daytime, where people with rock bands and rehearsal rooms normally don't use them, I think I'm gonna be good, you know? And of course the battery on the camera died, so let's switch to the iPhone. And let me just show you real quick some of the stuff that's going on these walls, because, you know, a lot of stuff needs to be done here. And I'm also going on vacation, so the people who had this room before me obviously left these DIY acoustic panels around, and I can use them and put them out however I want, and, you know, that could come in really handy. There are a bunch of them, so who knows. What's also kind of crazy is that some of these acoustic panels has been mounted on the walls like this. You know, this wasn't really supposed to be a good looking studio for anyone, more like a rehearsal room for a punk band or something like that. This wall is even worse, And we have the stuff over there, and across the majority of that wall too. So, you know, there's some stuff that needs to be done here. And obviously there were even more acoustic panels over here that's been taken down. I'm also realizing that the walls aren't white at all. The paint is kind of yellow. I'm not sure if I love that. So maybe I'm gonna have to repaint the walls too before I install my acoustic treatment. A few days later, I'm back in the studio again. I've been here for a bit to take down some of the acoustic panels on the walls. Not all of them, but most of it, and it sounds worse. But also, yeah, someone's obviously playing the drums in some of the rooms next to me. It definitely leaks into this room, and it's 6:30 in the evening, so of course there's someone playing. Maybe this is gonna become an issue. Maybe not. I don't know. But what I really wanted to say here is that this entire process of mine is gonna become somewhat of a series of videos on this channel. Probably 4, maybe 5 of them to share the process of me getting this set up, fixing the walls, dealing with the holes, the paint, installing my own acoustic treatment in the room to make it sound a little bit better than right now. I'm gonna get a desk set up in here, as well as bring in all the gear and all the records and all the stuff, all the cables and all that stuff too. Somewhere in this place I'm gonna have to set up some type of storage space and hopefully hide it away kind of nicely, because I've got cables, old gear that I don't use a lot, and a lot of stuff for video making too, like adapters and clamps and stands and all that stuff. It's gonna be a process, and hopefully some of you guys will enjoy following along and watching me trying to build this into something that it's not today. Right now it's pretty much just an empty shell with a lot of holes in the walls and nails and screws and stuff coming out of the walls, and all of these things needs to be fixed and set up. And I also need to think about the lighting. The lighting is definitely going to be an issue, because these lights, you know, they're just not very video friendly or even nice to work in. So expect to see some type of video series on this channel about this process. I just want to share it with you guys as I go through it, if that makes sense. Hopefully you guys will learn something or get inspired by anything that happens in here. And the best case scenario for me personally would actually be if you guys have any opinions about anything that's coming out here. Hello YouTube, it's Hyperfollow again, back with another video from the home studio. It's just an intro that's not going to work anymore. It would be cool to have some type of name for this place. Maybe that's not my biggest concern right now. I've got holes in the walls. I definitely have a lot of stuff to take care of in here, but somehow it doesn't feel overwhelming at all. The room isn't that big, and honestly, fixing the holes, repainting the walls, installing all the acoustic treatment, bringing all my samplers, my synthesizers and all the instruments in here just feels cool. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a separate studio space for me to be creative, to make all the videos, all the beats, all the recordings, all the scratch parts, all the video reviews, all the stuff that I want to be able to do without really having to think about anything else. I'm really excited about this. This is just gonna be cool. But I'm also going on vacation with the family, like tomorrow, on the Swedish west coast, on the beach, in the sun, with the family, in a caravan. Who am I to complain, you know? And I don't even know what more to say right now. I guess this is a video because I just wanted to show you guys this place real quick and talk a little bit about this process and what's coming up after my vacation. By the way, since I know some people are gonna ask, this place is about a 4-minute bike ride from my home, so it's not really a problem to get here, you know? Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, ha det gott!
Accurate beats.